Here we go. Welcome to the Explosive Strength Podcast with Jared Bidney. On today's episode, I have a strongman, Justin Kealhofer, here with me. We're going to talk about Justin's journey into strongman, how he got started, what he's doing now, and kind of hope get some training advice and what he kind of does. So anyway, Justin, welcome.
Hey, Jared, I appreciate you having me on. Like we talked about, first time being a podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes.
Yeah, that's good. So, well, how did your journey into the gym or journey into strength even start? Before even strongman stuff started?
Long time ago. I started working out.
Did you play football in high school?
Yeah, I started playing football back in second grade. Mm-hmm. Playing for the county rec leagues. Mm-hmm. I was always that kid that was bigger, so I've always having to play up the couple of grades.
You're kind of a small guy.
Yeah, I mean, right now being 6'1", 383, I've always been the big guy. Mm-hmm. But, starting out in second grade, I had to play for the third and fourth grade team because they always did it by weight for the rec league. Fourth grade team, playing for the fifth and sixth. Mm-hmm. And actually, I was the first one in Kentucky in my elementary school in sixth grade. I was too big to play for any of them for the rec leagues. So I was the first one to actually play in middle school in the seventh and eighth grade team and start all 3 years on the eighth grade team. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was pretty neat, being young and being able to do that and all.
Yeah.
But that actually started my journey into lifting weights because my brother was in high school by that time.
Always wanted to keep up with him?
Exactly. And, his head coach knew about me, saw me coming up, and he's all right, well, let's get him in here and show him the basics.
Yep.
So by the time I got to high school, by the end of my freshman year, I was one of the strongest guys already on the team. Mm-hmm. And, it just progressed from there. It's just something that I fell in love with, working out, lifting weights, just pushing yourself, seeing how heavy you can go on something. And, being young and dumb, you think you can lift anything on God's green earth. So there were plenty of days I would go work out during school, then go to the gym that afternoon. And of course, at that age, not really knowing anything about anything, it was always bench press. That was the first thing everybody asked, what do you bench press? Yep. What do you bench press?
So might as well get as strong in that as possible.
Exactly. And it actually got to the point toward the end of my high school career that I was bench pressing more than I squatted, which is terrible to say. I mean, it's not that I had a bad squat, but
people are not going to ask you about your squat. They ask you about your bench.
Exactly. But I was bench pressing 475 into my senior year.
As a high school?
Yes, sir. And, that does make my squat sound bad, but that's also too because...
How big were you? How much did you weigh?
I graduated high school at about 320, 330-ish. Mm-hmm. I was the center and I was the nose guard. Mm-hmm. I wasn't a whole lot of moving for me. It was just, don't let somebody through the middle, or clog up the middle. That was basically my job. Mm-hmm. So I had strong legs, but my form when it came to squat, it was non-existent. It was terrible. But that was because, not knocking my coaches back in the day, but nobody really knew how to teach.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I got started. Like when I was in high school, I wanted to be good at the Olympic lifts. And so then they said, you just do it. So they didn't really tell, so I seeked out an Olympic coach because I didn't want to be bad at anything. And so I knew that you just don't do that. So for the first time, then I started learning organization of training and planning for the training programs. I didn't learn it through high school. I learned it by seeking out someone that knew. Then I just found exercise science by mistake when I got into college.
Okay.
And so, like you, always wanted to work out. So I'd work out with the football team. Then I'd go to my Olympic coach in the afternoon. So I was always trying to do a lot more. And I went to school to play football at college. I didn't go to school for college.
Same here.
That's what I was going to do. But I've always seeked out the weight room. So I was walking around. This is how I came across exercise science. I went to our athletic facility to where as football, you have your own weight room. And so I went there, it was locked. I was like, so I went on campus one, it was locked. And so I was just walking around campus, then I knew where the girls' basketball area was in the gym. And so I was walking around there, I said, there's got to be a weight room around here somewhere for them. And so I walked downstairs, walked down this hallway, and I saw a kid that I played football with. He was coming out of this room. I looked, there was a bench. I said, I got to go work out. He said, you can't go in there. I said, why not? And he goes, I said, that's a weight room. He said, no, it's not, it's a lab. I said, what do you mean? I said, no, that's a weight room. He goes, no, it's a lab. I said, what kind of lab? It was a biomechanics lab.
Oh, okay.
And I said, what's that? What's your major? He said, exercise science. I said, that's the first time I ever heard exercise science. So I went to college to play football, not wanting to go to college to go to college. I wanted to go to college, but I was in college trying to work out. And that's how I stumbled across exercise science. I didn't even know that was such, and that just happened by mistake.
That was a blessing right there.
Yeah. I mean, and so sometimes, like I was trying to tell a kid the other day, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what school I want to go to. Well, you know you're going to play football. I said, don't go to school playing football trying to tell you what your major is now.
Yeah.
You'll find that along your path somehow. I said, so if you want to go play football at this school offers you a scholarship, don't worry about what majors they have. Most of these big institutions will have most of the majors anyway. Exercise science was not at all schools. Now a lot more schools have exercise science because this stuff is still on the edge. It's still coming up.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, it's like after high school, when I went to West Georgia, I was going to be one of their walk-ons, and I was actually going to be one of their starting centers playing. My brother had already been playing there, and he was going to be the left tackle. I went to college for the same reason, just to play football.
Yeah.
I had no clue whatsoever
about what you wanted to do.
Exactly. And looking back at it now, that's actually an okay thing. Like you just said, there are kids who don't know until their sophomore, junior year in college, really, to where, you know, they may think they may have an idea of what their major is, but it'll change 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
You know, so when I went to West Georgia and I started playing, we were starting practicing and all, I was having battling a few injuries. You know, I've already had 1 knee surgery, 1 ankle surgery, real terrible sciatica problems, and patella tendonitis in both knees. So I was just a walking disaster. You know, I would wake up in the morning in pain, go to bed at night in pain, you know, taking ibuprofen by the handfuls just to be able to make it through the day. I'm 18 years old.
18, you hardly ever move.
I mean, it was ridiculous, and like I said, I loved the sport of football. I loved playing it, but you know, it just got to the point where I woke up one morning and I was like, you know, there's nothing changing. There's nobody telling me, hey, if you do this and this will help you out. And believe me, I've sought out the coaches, the trainers. You know, nobody could help me out.
Yeah.
And it just got to the point where I'm like, all right, this is really, really rough right now. And you know, like I said, being an 18-year-old kid, it was hard to stick with it.
Yeah.
So, you know, one of the hardest things I ever do was call my dad and tell him I don't think I want to play football no more. You know, because, you know, that's a father's dream right there, to watch his 2 boys play on the same team, especially at the college level.
Yep.
So, you know, like, that was an extremely hard call for me. But I told him, I said, you know, I'll stick in college, try it out, you know, continue to go to all my classes and everything. And I did that for a while, but having no clue whatsoever of what I was wanting
like
to
going
do.
to class, beating your head in.
Exactly.
What am I? There's no end goal because you don't know what you want.
Exactly. And you know, once again, call my dad. I said, "Look, this
the school thing ain't working."
I mean, you know, I said, I'm miserable.
Yeah.
Because the way I had it set up, all my classes were done by noon. So I thought, get them all done, get them out of the way. I can still go to the gym and train, and just see what college is like.
Yeah.
Well, by the time noon came around, I'm out of class. Well, everybody I've met, all my friends and everything.
Going to football practice now.
Yeah, football practice. All the other ones who didn't play football are still going to class. I'm like, I'm sitting in the dorm with my brother, or most of the time just by myself, having nothing to do. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this is extremely boring, mm-hmm. almost depressing.
Yeah.
And like I said, I had enough of it. Called my dad. I said, look, this just isn't working out for me.
Yeah. How did he take that?
He was actually very understanding of it, because he had actually done the same thing. He went to college, and at first it didn't really work out for him. Mm-hmm. I'm just like he is. He wanted to work and make money. Mm-hmm. That's what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So, he dropped out of college and went to go work, but realized that, you kind of have to go back to college if you really want to make something of yourself, mm-hmm. depending on which way you want to go.
Yep.
So he actually went back to night college, put himself through Georgia Tech, and graduated valedictorian of his class.
But he had to hit the grind first. He had to go to work and figure out, okay, this is what I don't want to do.
Exactly.
And so that's why he probably got better grades.
Oh, yeah.
As he got older.
Yeah, he's an extremely smart man.
Yeah.
And I always say, my brother got the brains and I just got the bronze.
Yeah.
And I'm okay to admit that. But I got the common sense.
Yeah.
So, I'll take common sense over book smarts any day.
Yeah, because I didn't read a book when I was in college.
Oh, no.
I didn't take the self-learning rapping off my anatomy book until my anatomy class was over.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't read my textbooks till after I graduated. And after I started reading these books, and then I was reading textbooks. I don't know what the heck drove me to read a textbook after I've already graduated college. What I need this book for? I just kept along because I've always liked exercise science, and I like the body, and I like the inner workings, because I don't like to just do. I want to know why and how. Yeah. I want to know the inner workings of it. And so I just kept these books, and I started reading the textbooks after I graduated college. And I said, I would have had a lot better grades if I would have just read a chapter. I mean, it only took me a short period of my day to read just a chapter. Because like when you're in school, you kind of don't know really how to study.
Oh, yeah.
And so, or kind of which direction to go. You think you know how to study. All you got to do is learning is really simplistic. Mm. If I would have just read that chapter, because like when you're in school, or if you were like I was, you got to read this one paragraph. Heck, I ain't reading that.
Oh yeah.
I didn't want to bother my time reading, then let alone read the whole chapter.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And so it's just kind of like, okay. Or if they would have told me to go home and read this chapter, I'd be like, 5 pages? Heck no. I didn't want to read the paragraph, much less 5 pages.
Exactly. And I was exactly the same way. I remember very vividly walking into one of my English classes at college, and teacher gives us a book. I'm sorry, she didn't give us a book because they don't give you anything in college. You got to go out and buy it.
Yeah.
So you got to go buy this book.
You got to go buy this book you don't want to read.
Exactly. And it was called Fences. It was about a play. Mm-hmm. You need to read this book, and next week have a 6 to 8 page report about it. That's not happening.
Yeah, I procrastinated on writing my papers in college. I'd sit in my room 12 o'clock at night. My paper's due next morning at 8. I started on 12 o'clock the night before.
Oh, yeah.
I hated that stuff so much. But if I didn't have football practice to look forward to, I would have never done that work.
Oh, yeah.
Football really helped keep me in school.
Very good motivator.
Yeah, because I was like, okay. But also, I didn't want to look like a failure sometimes when I was always kind of growing up more of a goofball, kind of want to play around class. All I cared about was actually working out. And so I just wanted to, that's all I cared about was working out. But then if I wanted to play football, I didn't want to be a failure and have to quit. And so I said, no, I got to do this, because I think people was behind me looking at me like I was going to quit or like I was not going to make it. And so I just kind of stuck with it. And then I found exercise science. Then I found stuff that I liked. And I don't know how long it's just happened.
See, and that's a great thing, because not everybody finds what actually truly interests them, especially during their stint in college.
Yeah.
You know,
they don't find, you can sometimes these kids are graduating with stuff, these degrees, they're not even using for a full-time career.
Oh, yeah, ancient French literature, you know, I'm like, I'm sure there's probably a way to get a job with that degree, but I have no idea what it is. You know, you see a lot of them nowadays, they're just going to college. It's a 4-year party to them.
Yeah, just to go to college.
Yeah, and the parents are putting the bill.
Yeah.
And they're not getting anything out of it. I mean, and this is just strictly my opinion. A college degree nowadays isn't what it used to be.
No, it's like a high school degree now. So,
and
I agree with that.
You know, and I say it's getting so expensive nowadays too. I mean, ridiculously expensive. Mm-hmm. You know, even if you want to go to college, all right, you know, do you want to spend the next 20 years after that paying off the bill?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right now, to me, I think it's a system just set up for failure.
Yeah.
You know, you got the kids that want to go to college, actually want to learn and make something of themselves, who, you know, A, can't afford it, and they don't have the ability to. Then you got the kids who just want to go and party all 4 years and, you know, get their degree in, you know, underwater basket weaving.
Yeah.
You know.
I had a kid come to me a couple months ago, and I said, "You're not in school?" No, I went for a little while, and I decided I'm not going to continue to go to college. I said, "That's really good." He looked at me like I was crazy. He goes, "Everybody says you need to go to school. I am a person, you need to go to school if you want to go to school. Mm-hmm. You don't need to go to school because society or someone behind you told you you need to go to school." Yeah. He said, "I would just rather go to work." He said, I don't care about being around different people. He said, "I like a job to where I can just go, I got this to do for today, and I'm done." Mm-hmm. And so now he works for a block company. Just goes and turns block all day and does manual labor. And I said, that's a lot better to figure out that that's kind of your personality and kind of what you want to do, versus spending all that time in college, hating every minute of it. Then you got to hate every minute of when that bill comes in the mail, mm-hmm. pay for it. I said, it's not what it's cracked up to be. I said, now you got these jobs to where you can go learn a trade and you can do much better than people that have a degree.
Oh yeah, definitely.
My brother never went to college and he does really well for himself.
Oh yeah.
And so I don't know how, but you know, like you got certain people that do want to go. If you want to go be a doctor, you have to.
Yes.
If you want to go be a hygienist or a dentist, or not necessarily even you can go 2 years of school, I think, for a hygienist. Know what you want. Mm-hmm. Like for some of these people, if they want to be a flight dispatcher at the airlines, you have to have a 4-year degree. You can be an underwater basket weaving. But if you know you want to do this, then I think it's appropriate. But if you're not sure what you want to do, like your dad, go to work. Mm-hmm. Then figure out, okay, because these kids, the way that school's set up, these grades always have to be perfect to get into college. Mm-hmm. You always have to go. They're always worried about studying. And like back in the day, we didn't have to study that much. Like especially when I went to high school, it was just okay. I'd show up, pass and pass, just like I did in college. I just showed up and didn't read, and all I did was hold myself accountable, just like go to class. Mm-hmm. How hard is it to wake up, get there, go listen to what they got to say, then go back. Then I had football practice to go to, so I wasn't never really bored.
Yeah, exactly.
But I wasn't beat up like you were either. Mm-hmm. So I guess. But I think everything happens for a reason. And,
oh, yes.
And it kind of turns, you wouldn't be where you are if you didn't take those steps.
Exactly.
You know, sometimes like that kid when they came to talk to me was like feeling bad that he quit college. And I was proud of him for being a kid at that age, half a semester of college, realizing this ain't what you want to do. Mm-hmm. And I said, that's really good. I said, now you're going to have some of your friends in college, they're going to go 3 years and figure out they're going to be you now.
Yeah.
I said, now look how much they wasted. He said, I don't want to sit there and waste all that money and all that time. He said, I'd just rather go to work. You know, and I think sometimes kids need the break from school to figure out what they want to do, because how's a 17-year-old or 16-year-old kid going to know what they want to do for the rest of their life?
They don't. I mean, very few of them may do, but for the most part, most of them don't.
Yeah, you know, my ideal thing to grow up was not to own a gym. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. This just happened. I got laid off from my job. I had strength equipment in my garage. And the only thing, and I did erosion control.
Okay.
I graduated in college with exercise science, and I did erosion control. That don't make any sense now, does it?
You know, but and that just goes to show you.
Then I got laid off, but I had this with the erosion control. I was able to buy different equipment as time went on. I had books. I was a supervisor, so I had books in my truck. Then I'd read on strength conditioning. So this is pretty much. I started lifting weights when I was 12. Went to high school. All I cared about was working. I worked out so much in high school. My strength coach or my football coaches at high school gave me a key to the weight room. That's a no-no nowadays.
Oh yeah.
And so I had a key. I can go work out anytime I want to. So I would go work in the summer. I worked at a golf course. I would work from 7 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 6, 7 o'clock at night. Then I'd go to the gym and work out. I'd have to beg my friends to come spot me if I needed it.
Yeah.
Or I would just do it on my own. And sometimes when I was working in high school, my first jobs was I worked at a hardware store, downtown Sonoy, Hutchinson Hardware.
Okay.
Wouldn't ever recognize it nowadays. Mr. Jimmy would roll over in his grave. But on my lunch breaks, my sophomore year, while I was working at the hardware store, I would leave during my lunch break. Told Mr. Jimmy, I got to go work out. So I spent my lunch working out instead of going to eat somewhere. And so that's kind of how I was. Then I kind of started at 12. Through middle school, started lifting. High school, I wanted it more, so I got keyed somehow. I guess they trusted me. And if you trust me, I'm not going to do anything to screw you over. And so I had a key to the weight room. Then I played football. I wanted to be stronger for football. And so then I went to University of Memphis to play football. And I stumbled upon exercise science. So it's just kind of, you look back at your path that you've created, you didn't even know why you was doing stuff that you did at the time. Then I stumbled upon exercise science. But then I got out of school and I started doing erosion control. All I knew is I liked exercise science. That's what I wanted to major in, because I didn't want to major in business as just general. So I liked the body and just wanted to learn. And I guess that's what also helped keep me there is, I did like exercise science. But then I graduated, I didn't know what to do with it. So then I did erosion control. And then the University of Memphis, while I was, another thing just kind of happened, like you said, and it's a godsend for me to find exercise science. The weight room, or part of our turf room when I was at Memphis, burned down. And they had some benches and stuff sitting outside, and I was like, Coach A, what are y'all gonna do with those? They're just gonna sit there. I was like, can I have a couple of bars and a bench? So my first set of dumbbells came from the University of Memphis because there was no throwing away. And so then I gathered some bars, then I had a bench. I had this bench and these dumbbells and these bars in the back. I had a truck when I was in college, and all these kids saw the stuff in the back of my truck. They started making fun of me because I was just a meathead, just wanted to lift weights. So I brought all that stuff home because I was trying to create my own garage gym in my parents' basement. And so then I collected all this stuff. Then as I graduated college, I started working in erosion control. I started getting some money for the first time. So the money I'd get, I would buy glue ham race. and so I would just do stuff like that. Then it happened to be I got laid off my erosion control job, but I had all this stuff. And so I didn't know anything. I applied for jobs at McDonald's. I applied at Home Depot. I applied at Lowe's. I applied at Outback. I applied at Moe's. I applied anywhere that I could think of to get a job. The only job I got a phone call was a flower delivery company. And so I went to that nursery, and that guy saw my resume, and he said, I don't know how to tell you this, but you're overqualified for this job. I've never been overqualified for anything in my entire life, or at least that's what I felt. And I said, what do you mean? At that time I had a wife and kids. I said, I don't care if I'm overqualified. I'll be here on time. I'll show up and I'll get the job done. I said, I'm reliable, but you're overqualified. I said, what does that, I was sitting there, what does that mean?
How is that a negative?
I said I can drive, and driving history was clean. no tickets, no wrecks. Just needed a driver. I said, look, I'll drive the truck all day long. I was told no. So I had to go back home and tell my wife. Dude said I was overqualified. And so I was like, what are we going to do? So then I called up a buddy of mine and I said, look, I knew he was about to leave high school and go off to play college ball. And I said, look, I'll train you. And so I'll just charge you a little bit, you know, because I got a wife and kids. I got to do something to make some money, you know.
Oh yeah.
And so he started coming to my garage at our house because of the stuff that I had collected. And he started coming, and he told his brother started coming. Then I told my wife, it's kind of creepy having people come to your house. And so this was, again, something else that was lucky. This was in 2008 when everything started going downhill. So I said, look, what I did was I mapped out Coweta County, that county. My first gym was in Tyrone, which is only about 2 miles down the street.
Okay.
And so that's the center point location. Union High School was further this way, and Fayette County High School, Union and Fayette County, and this was the center point, the two furthest high schools in the different counties. And so this is where we're going to go. And so we started driving around. Look, I knew I wanted a warehouse. I wanted to be hot, just like a garage. And I didn't want to pay a lot of money for rent. So we stumbled upon this place, and they wanted to do a 2-year lease. Well, shoot, 2-year lease. We'll give you the first 6 months free, because they were dying for somebody in. But when you're on their shoes, if they can show that they have this person for 2 years on a lease agreement, it helps them financially with the banks. And so then they could put a clause in of how you get out of it within a 90 or 60 day notice. I said, okay, I'll sign this 2-year lease. Then it started there. Then this cheerleading place was across it. That guy that was coming to me at my house, he said, you're up there? And he was down here at this cheerleading place because his girlfriend worked at a cheerleading place. And so these cheerleaders started coming over, and they played volleyball for the local high school. They just wanted to come jump. So they started coming. Then this baseball place was down the street. They heard that I was there. Then this kid came from there. That kid got better. And then people started noticing, so more people started coming. Then all of a sudden, I had so much equipment in that gym that I had to leave after but it took 2 years. But it all started as a process that I didn't know this is what I was going to do.
Just kind of fell in the lap and, snowball from there. I mean,
yeah, it's just kind of crazy. And so that was kind of my journey into the gym business. But I've always, in high school, even in middle school, I would always try to help my brother. I'd try to help my cousins. I was always wanting to help people get stronger, but I didn't know this is what I was going to do. So how did you stumble after college and all that, my long story? How did you get into Strongman? What did you do when you told your dad? So what did you start doing?
Once I left West Georgia, I actually started to go work in a construction plumbing business with a buddy of mine and his father. I did that for a couple of years, making really good money, actually learning a trade. And you know what, other than the traveling, at first I enjoyed it, because we were down there in Biloxi, Mississippi, working on this 14-story high-rise. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, because it was a new experience for me. I'm out of the house, I'm on my own, working, making my own money, and
start to make your own decisions.
Exactly. So this is good. Well, then they quickly realized after this job is done, you're having to move, travel to wherever the next job is. And, it got to the point to where I'm like, all right, it's just, kind of getting homesick. I'm not seeing my parents as much as I'd like to, or my friends back in Noonan. I'm like, all right, so the business that we worked for actually hit some hard times, so we actually left them and started working for another construction company. And we were fortunate enough, we did the retirement home just down the street in Peachtree City, doing the plumbing there. So I'm like, all right, well, stay with my parents, rent free, of course, and still making good money. I'm like, this is not bad at all.
I just won the lottery.
You know, exactly. So, and during the process of that, actually, my dad, I can't remember exactly who gave him this pamphlet, but Peachtree City Fire Department was taking applications for their recruit class for volunteers. And my dad handed me that, and I looked into it. I was like, all right, this is actually pretty cool. You know, every kid wants to be a firefighter, you know.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, after I lost my job, even before I even had my erosion control job, I've always applied to fire departments. I never got a phone call.
It is extremely hard, you know, to get on with the fire department, or at least it was back when I was applying.
Yeah.
It was a good buddy system, you know.
Yep.
You had to know the right person. But like I said, I looked into that pamphlet. I said, you know what do I got to lose?
Yeah.
So I went in there, got my nice suit and tie on, which I never wear. Went through the interview process. Apparently they liked me, and I was picked to go through the rookie school. And we would go every B shift, and it was, I mean, it was a very fun process. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's actually at the station just right here in the street.
So this one right here is where you went to?
Yes, sir. Yeah, Chad Matheny was our main instructor. He's the chief there now, but you know, went through that whole process, got certified firefighter 1, hazmat awareness. Then we were able to start volunteering. You know, we got some gear now. We can come on shift whenever we want to, as long as we put in, I believe it was 40 hours a month. You know, you can continue to volunteer. You know, and the more and more I did it, you know, the more and more I loved the job. You know, and also the people too that I worked with, trained with. You know, it was a tight family. And you know, during that process, and you know, the time that I spent volunteering there, I probably put in, you know, 2 or 3 applications to get on with Coweta County. And like I said, it was a good old buddy system. It's all about who you know. Yeah. So I got in good with some of the right people here for Peachtree City that had worked for Coweta County and left on very good terms. So the last time I put in an application, I had them write a couple of letter recommendations.
Yeah, that probably helped a lot.
Oh yeah, tremendously. and believe it or not, I got called in, did the physical test and all that, had my interview, and I was kind of devastated at first because I initially didn't get the job. They had picked the people that they wanted, started rookie class, and the first week of rookie school then was called Hell Week. It was to basically push you to see how far they can push you and to see where your limits were. Yeah. You know, so, and plus too, it was a huge reality check for a lot of these people who've never done this before. Hey, you know, this isn't like what you see on TV or the movies. Yeah. This can be some extremely hard work. And if you're not mentally prepared for it now, you know, it's only going to get harder. You know, so I say fortunately, which for me is fortunately, but unfortunately for the person who couldn't hack it during Hell Week, that person ended up leaving, and I was actually working at Books A Million because that was one of the few jobs that I could find. Yeah, so you were like me, we were struggling for jobs. Exactly. Like I said, I've had several. And you know, I was even applied to for a personal trainer at World Gym. Oh really? And would they tell you were too qualified for that? Never got a phone call. And so I said, how in the world is this happening? And so there was a sports performance place here, it was called Velocity. I applied for there, didn't get anything there. So I started opening this gym. It started growing. Then Velocity called offered me, hey, could you come work for us? It's too late now. They didn't want the competition. Because they saw that there was about to be some competition. So they were just trying to shut me down before I even got started because they could hire me on. I could quit this business that I'm trying to start, hire me on, then fire me. You know, it is what it is. Yeah, it's an evil game, you know. Yeah,
But that's good, because I was talking to a guy yesterday. He just graduated Ranger School.
Oh wow!
And so
he's basically a badass then.
Yeah, he's pretty badass. And he started off as a kid that couldn't bench 95 pounds here at the gym, and he went on to play football. Actually, he was a running back for Army.
Oh, okay.
His senior year, that was the first year that Army beat Navy in 14 years in Army-Navy game.
Oh, wow.
And so he got go through all those experiences and stuff like that. And then after he graduated, he went to after West Point. Now he just graduated Ranger School, so he's just starting to, and he's got some more things up his sleeve that he's going to try to go and do. So he said a lot of people, you find out who you are when you start to do things that you know you can't do.
Oh yeah.
And so he said he had to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like what you're talking about now. It's kind of like they couldn't hack it.
Oh yeah, and it is extremely hard. Parts of the training, you know, for me being a bigger guy, I don't like being in close places.
Oh yeah.
You know, but that was the thing that got that one person out. Mm-hmm. We have a set of tunnels that at our training ground, you know, full gear, breathing air, pack on and everything. And this was back when I was 280, 290. So small, probably almost 100 pounds smaller than I am now. Yeah. But still, you know, broad shoulders. And you're having to go through this tunnel that is, you know, no bigger than that.
Yeah.
And when you get in there and all of a sudden something catches and you can't move, you start to freak out.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that was honestly probably one of the hardest things that I had to do training-wise in the fire department. Like I said, some people couldn't hack it. You know, the others who could. Everything else after that was, you know, for me, a lot easier. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, when I finally got that phone call, you know, say, hey, we got a spot open and you still interested in the job? I'm like, you know, I'm sitting there thinking, no, I just like applying for it and not getting it. Of course I'm still interested in the job. And went back, did another interview for some reason, and got put in on it. And it was actually kind of funny because all this happened within, like I said, that first week. Mm-hmm. So my first day was Thursday, and I had to go do all the paperwork, go to the summit, do the physical test and all that. Mm-hmm. Then Friday was all about me. Friday was my hell week in one day, and it was just focused about me. Mm-hmm. You know, it was all these other guys had gone through it. Now it's my turn. Mm-hmm. So it was, you know, you got everybody focusing 100% of their attention on you, pushing you, you know, as far as you can go, busting your ass, just trying to break you.
Yeah.
And, you know, one of the cruel thing is we have a bell. Like, at any point during training, if you go over and ring that bell, you're out.
You can tap out.
Exactly. So what they like to do is, you know, they give you a center block and go over there after they just sit there and just abused you. Go march it as you're holding it above your head and march it in front of the bell and, you know, just screaming and hollering at you. But like that was to show if the person can hack it or not.
Yeah, they want to see what type of leader you are. If you're willing to endure this,
exactly,
you can help someone else endure something else.
Exactly. Because, like I said, this can be a very hard, physically demanding job. I mean, going into a structure fire, knowing that there's somebody in there, you got to be physically fit and mentally prepared to run in that building and go get somebody if you need to. You can't hesitate. You can't think twice about it. You know, that's why they train you so hard.
Yeah.
You know, you have to know your limits.
You got to be like mental. Like that ranger I was talking to. They had to go to swamp. Well, the last phase of ranger training is you have to go to swampland. Mm. And so he was walking through this swamp, and he all of a sudden fell in mud up to his hips. He stepped over in this other leg, so he started sinking in this mud. And so he had the radio on. He was having to carry his 100-pound bag and the radio. So about 120 pounds, he was sinking this mud. Ranger, is your head above water? Yes, sir. And he's sinking. And the guy goes, figure it out.
Yeah.
he goes, he thought he was about to die. He was getting up to his chest. So he had to figure out how to get out of that mud while thinking he was about to die. And as long as his head was above, they said, figure it out.
Oh yeah. You know, situations like that, if you panic, it doesn't work out for you.
Yeah.
You know, quickly going back to, my earlier high school years, using that experience actually kind of helped me out going through rookie school for the fire department. This was during 2-a-day training, and also too, I was working at my dad's powder coating company that he had made. Him and a friend of his started up. So morning training, go practice a couple hours. Then we have our, few-hour break. Well, I didn't have to go to the powder coating place, working, then going back during the evening and have the other part of my training. Well, in Kentucky, it does get hot. Heat index does get over 105, 106. Well, I don't know if back then we were truly aware of the dangers of the heat index when it got so high. Because it may, like I said, it may only be 95, 96 degrees outside, but when the humidity's high, it's a lot hotter.
Yeah.
And, the sweat's not evaporating off your skin, cooling you down. So I experienced a heat exhaust, heat stroke moment there. And this is after a practice, going there, take my gear off. And I had no idea the signs and symptoms of it. I just, I've got an extremely bad headache. I'm dry as a bone. I said, go there, sit on the couch, and I'm waiting my turn to get the tape cut off on my ankles. And, I started getting that tunnel vision. Everything started going black on me, and everything started to draw in. And I'm sitting here, I said, Coach, he said, what? I said, something's wrong. And I'm out. Luckily, our trainer coach that we had, he was actually a volunteer firefighter. So he knew exactly what to do in that situation, which honestly probably saved me from having severe reactions, for the rest of my life because of that. He knew that, you got to start packing ice, armpit, groin area, around the head, the neck. You got to start cooling the body down. Like I said, they called the fire department. I think my blood pressure was in, the high 2s and over the high 100s. I mean, it was pretty bad. And, of course, I don't remember any of this. I wake up in the hospital, covered in ice packs. I'm like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
But I remember the feeling leading up to that point. So during rookie school, when it started to get to that point, I said, look, time out. We got to take a step back here for a second. Because if not, I know what's about to happen. That's just knowing your body.
Yeah.
Exactly. Even in training, lifting weights. I've seen people pass out all the time lifting weights. In competitions, it happens. I'm sure you've probably seen it too.
Yeah, I had. I'll tell you a funny story. I had this girl, Katie McCormick. This is dedication and determination. She pulled a deadlift, set it down, and she was only like 120 pounds pulling, maybe 123 pulling 3. And she wanted 315. So she pulled 303 because they're in kilograms, because we lived through USAPL. She set the weight down, turned around, walked back, bam, passed out. She leg scraped, face hit the turf, because this competition was actually here at USAPL. We had a meet here, so hit the turf, and she goes, "What'd I just bench?" And I said, Catherine, you just deadlifted. And that was her second attempt. And they called for, she said, what now? I said, I don't think you should go lift. She goes, And so I said, so usually you got a minute turn in, but I guess that situation, gave us a little bit longer time. So I went to her parents. I said, Catherine wants to lift, and they said, I said, okay. I said, all right, Catherine, what do you want? She said 315, which is 314. But she left it passed out and still went back for a third attempt.
I tell you, those are the people right there, that's truly dedicated to the sport. They're not going to let something like passing out affect you and not go and get that next lift.
Yeah, like I'll go give blood sometimes. They say, oh, you're not supposed to work out today. I know that's what you're recommending as a doctor or a healthcare professional. I'll take your advice and I'll go work out.
Well, we'll call that a light day. I won't go for a max that day, but still going to do something.
I'm good, yeah.
I mean, because sometimes, like you said, that situation, once you start getting a couple breaths back into you, get your wits about you, you're actually good to go again.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing really to keep you from going back and doing it again, and it's just all a mental thing after that. Is this going to happen again? Well, if it does, it does.
Yeah.
It's just one of the things that happens. I've had a couple experiences with it. One competition I did, it was
how'd you get in? Yeah, now you're working in the fire department.
Yeah. I've been in the fire department for about 11 years now with Coweta County, and how I actually got into the Strongman competitions, there was a local gym in Coweta County. It was a CrossFit gym.
Was it CrossFit Coweta? Is that who started it? Or was it?
I don't know. It wasn't them. It'll pop in my head here soon. I'm one of those people, I can't think of it then. But
they had a competition. I know who you're talking about.
They did it for about 7 years. In a couple of different areas, but it was in that open, right by Belks.
Yeah, okay. In that
grassy area. Yeah. They have done it a couple years before, and until I found out about it.
CrossFit Noonan.
I believe it was.
Yeah.
Because
they used to do an annual Strongman event.
Yes. And that was the competition I was doing.
Did you see a flyer, or did you?
I actually had a buddy of mine compete in it the year before. Unfortunately, I had to work that day, so I wasn't able to do it. But I was like, you know what? I saw what they were doing and the weights that they were doing. I was like, I could do that.
Yeah.
That actually looks like a lot of fun. And I grew up watching Strongman as a kid.
Yeah, I'd spend my summers.
Yeah,
we didn't have cable growing up, so we went to the beach for our summer vacation around the 4th of July. And instead of hanging out at the beach, I was sitting there watching. That's the only time I got to have cable TV. We didn't have cable TV growing up. And so I was sitting there. That's what I did on my summer vacation. I would sit there and watch the World's Strongest Man competitors.
Oh yeah, growing up and even watching the older when Strongman first started with Bill Kazmaier, just seeing a freak like that, of how he looks and what he's able to do, I'm like, that's cool. I think I could do that. But as a kid growing up, and especially as I got known through high school, I didn't know that there were amateur competitions locally all over the nation.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I had no idea.
How do these people get involved with the Strongman?
Exactly.
And you just kind of stumbled upon it, just like everything else. I think happens. I guess we mapped out a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, it's just one of the things. It just fell in my lap. And this wasn't a sanctioned Strongman competition. Just a local gym putting it on.
Yeah.
And it was a good mixture between Strongman and CrossFit. But so the next year came around, and said, I'm going to sign up for it. Did a little bit of training. Had no idea what I was doing.
Yep.
But let's just go give it a shot. And I went out there, and I ended up getting second place.
Yep.
And
for not knowing what you're doing is pretty good.
Yeah. And I was thrilled about that. And I was like, all right, next year, I'm really going to buckle down and come out here, and I'm winning this thing.
Yeah.
No doubt. So went back to the gym. That's when I really started getting back into the gym, lifting heavier, really studying the sport of Strongman because, having YouTube and Google, you can really learn a lot.
It helps a lot now.
It really
it's amazing
does.
Now you went from not wanting to learn in school
exactly
to wanting to learn later on.
You find something that truly interests you, and I'm like, I can be good at this.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens. So I get on YouTube, Google, I'm researching all this stuff, learning techniques, because one of the things that I thought was Strongman is all about brute force. Not really. There is a lot of technique in damn near every event that there is.
Yeah, it's just not just pick it up and do it.
Exactly.
It's just kind of like once you learn how to bench press, it's just not lay down on the bench and bench.
Exactly.
You got to get your shoulders tucked up on you. You got to get your feet. You got to learn how to arch. You got to learn how to.
There's a lot more to it. Yeah. So, learning all of this, go back next year, compete again, and I won. I'm like, all right, this is an awesome feeling. Let me start. In the process of Googling all that, I've actually learned that there's amateur strongman competitions all over the nation. I'm like, all right, well, I just won this one. Let's actually go to the next level and compete at a real sanctioned meet. So my very first real strongman competition was Central Georgia Strongest Man out in Macon in 2016. And all strongman competitions, they have a novice. Which was me.
But you can only do that 1 year, right?
He can do that. He can do that until you win it.
Okay.
Then you're expected to go to the open.
Okay.
So I'm looking at the novice weights. I'm like, well, in my head, I can do all that. I'm not going to waste my time competing as a novice. I went ahead and went straight to the super heavyweight open. And because, like I said, once again, in the gym, my lifts were, pretty decent. That don't really mean a whole lot in the strongman world.
Yeah.
So I get there, I'm looking at all the lifts and the events and everything. The one really good thing I'm actually decent at is overhead press. Whether it's axle, dumbbell, log, block, keg, I'm just good with an overhead press because I've always had a really good bench. I got good strong shoulders and triceps, chest. It helps out and it does carry over some. That was the only event that I did well at. I think I ended up getting second or third place on that one. And everything else, I got humbled very quickly.
Yeah, because you think, like when you're in the gym by yourself, you may be the strongest person in there.
Exactly.
So no one else is like you, and so your confidence is already pretty high. I got this. But then when that's when I first started getting more humbled, is we go to these powerlifting competitions. And I'm in open category, and I got some of these kids, and all of a sudden, I tell someone, hey, I got this kid weighs 132 pounds, he's 14 years old, he's benching 230, and they don't even bat an eye. It's like, I think that's pretty good. Go to competition, he's got a competition kid that benches 270, the same body weight, same age, you're like, all these people, like you probably experienced from the strongman, they start to come out of the woodwork.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, where in the heck this dude come from?
Yeah. And I tell you, I remember, and you may know him, he's a trainer for Georgia Tech named Zach Reed.
Yeah, Zach Reed, yep.
I saw him there. He was there at that competition too, and I saw him.
Zach's a big dude.
I looked at him, I was like, oh my God. He's winning this competition. I mean, he's just massive.
Yeah.
And I believe he did win it.
I think he won Georgia's Strongest Man. Is that the event you're talking about?
Well,
there's one in Kealhofer.
Yeah. That's Georgia's Strongest Man. This was Central Georgia Strongest Man. This is two separate ones because there's two different federations.
Okay.
You have the USS, the United States Strongman, and then you have Strongman Corporation.
Okay.
The Georgia Strongest Man is the Strongman Corporation Federation, and the Central Georgia Strongest Man is the USS.
Which one is the gateway to kind of the world's strongest man?
Or
the Arnold? You actually got invited to the Arnold Classic.
Yes, yeah. I went to the Arnold Amateur World Championship this year in March, and that was my first time being able to go to that and get invited because of nationals the year before.
Okay, which organization led you?
That's the Strongman Corporation.
Okay, and that was the one in Macon?
No, that was the one here in Kealhofer, Georgia's Strongest Man.
Okay, yeah. So that was the one that led you to be able to qualify for the Arnold.
Yes. The one in Macon, like I said, that's a newer federation. Like I said, it's still developing and it's getting bigger and bigger every year. They're offering, like I said, great prizes for a lot of their competitions. But Strongman Corporation has been around for a very long time. I say with Strongman Corporation, like I said, like Georgia's Strongest Man, I competed in that, and I ended up getting second. That was one of the competitions that got me to nationals the year before, or I'm sorry, not year before, but last year. And that was out in Vegas. And I ended up, I want to say 13th or 14th overall in the heavyweight division in the nation, but I was 6th in the super heavyweight division. So that got me to the Arnold Amateur World Championship this year. And I went there and I believe I ended up 13th overall in the world, because you're competing against guys from literally all over the world. You know, I've never been in an area where I've heard so many different languages spoken. You know, and I had no idea what they were.
Arnold Classic brings out a lot of people.
It truly does. You know, the guys from Russia, Iceland, Poland, Africa, South America.
Were the big dogs there? I see you got a Brian Shaw hat on.
Oh yeah. We have our own, like the amateurs have their own little area to compete, and you know the main 10 guys are on the main stage.
Yeah.
When they compete. I actually went to the Arnold the year before that just to go watch.
Okay.
You know, it was something I wanted to go do. Me and my girlfriend went up there. We actually drove, which is
a good 10 hours.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, when we get there, you know, it's just spitting snow. So, you know, she's loving it. It doesn't really bother me.
Yeah, because that cold weather's feeling good on you, ain't it?
You know, I'm walking around in shorts and t-shirt, and I'm like, oh, this is great.
Parking and driving around that place is
terrible. It's terrible. So I highly recommend, if you do go to the Arnold, to go ahead and book your hotel in advance, like almost a year in advance, because if you don't, they're all going to be booked up.
Yeah, and if you get Uber or whatever, you're going to be sitting around because you got people dropping them off.
Exactly.
And all that stuff. We had a kid here compete in powerlifting at the Arnold.
Okay.
And so yeah, I've got to. But the only thing about when you compete, I don't know if it was like when we went and he was competing. Like I went Arnold, I've been like 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
I got to go through the exhibits. I went there the first time when they had the WPO, like when Louis Simmons and all of them were like big time. Now it's more of a USAPO event. And so that's my first experience, and that's kind of how I got into Westside Barbell and stuff like that. My first time going there. But it's grown and it's changed over the years. But when we was competing, I wasn't an athlete. One of the kids here, one of my sons was an athlete in it. I didn't get to go through the exhibits. I was kind of crushed.
I tell you, it's.
And were you able to, the first year you got to go through the exhibit, you got to experience it all, right?
Yes, we were able to walk around as much as somebody can.
Yeah, because
you're
tight. You kind of like have to squeeze shoulders. And
there's thousands of people in this one convention center, and
if Arnold walks in there, you really ain't going anywhere.
Oh, I'm telling you, when Arnold walks in there, it's like parting the Red Sea.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a group of 10 to 20 guys all dressed out in these cool camo jackets that they always wear, and they're just parting the crowd.
Yeah.
And Arnold doesn't walk; they move.
Yeah.
You know, rather quickly, because like I said, you can't take the time to really stop.
Yeah, because when I was there, like he'd have a door here, like in a corner here. He's from point A to point B real quick. And
yes, exactly. And you know, he's going to, you know, either like our area where somebody's competing about to do a world record attempt, or the main stage where somebody's about to do a world record attempt.
Yeah. Because
you know he's going to go up there and watch it, witness it, probably even Snapchat it.
Yeah.
That's just something that he does. It's quite funny to see him do it, actually. But whenever you see him, like I said, it's for a very little bit, and you can actually see when he's approaching, because everybody will get their phone up and just kind of start doing that following.
Yeah.
So it was always pretty neat. But whenever we would walk around, I never stood in line, because you're going to stand in line for at least an hour just to get into some of these booths to see. I'm not really about that. You know, I don't need all that free stuff and sit there and really waste part of your day.
Yeah, I don't care
just
about
standing in line.
Yeah, you know,
I'm there to watch people compete, because in my mind, I know I'm going to be here next year.
Yeah,
this was almost kind of a I'm scouting out of how it's going to be
and what kind of look forward to. But the thing about Strongman is they always change the events too.
Yeah. They do. Like I said, the year that I went to, the year I actually competed, different events. Mm-hmm. It's not always going to be the same.
Yeah.
Whenever whatever the events are, you can have a good idea of what the actual implements you're going to use. Yeah. So if there's going to be an overhead press, it's either going to be, like I said, a log, axle, dumbbell, keg. So you can have a pretty good idea of what to expect.
Yeah.
Typically too, because it's easier to have a log.
Yeah.
Because you can load the weights on there rather easily, whereas like a bar-toes dumbbell.
Yeah.
That actually takes a decent amount of time to unscrew it, take the top off, load the weight in there, mm-hmm. especially when you got 5 or 6 of them mm-hmm. on a platform. It takes time.
Yeah.
So that's something that they always have to be conscious about.
That's kind of stuff you've learned, experiencing, and doing it for years.
Exactly.
You kind of can kind of narrow it down to what it could mm-hmm. not be.
Exactly. And also too, being around guys who have just been doing this way longer than I have. Mm-hmm. I train with a great group of guys. One of them, Scott Helms, he's the state rep for
Carrollton.
Georgia.
He's in Carrollton, right?
Yeah, he's the one who does the Georgia Strongest Man.
Okay.
He's the state rep for Strongman Corporation. So in the state of Georgia, if you want to put on a competition that's sanctioned by Strongman Corporation, you got to go through him.
Okay.
And he was one of the guys that I met at that Central Georgia Strongest Man.
Okay.
And that is actually what really got me into the sport to where I'm at now. Mm-hmm. Just because he's been involved with it for so long, and his knowledge about it was, I'm absorbing everything he's saying.
Yeah.
And we would go out to his house every Saturday is event day. Mm-hmm. And we would always work on something that was different.
Yeah.
And, the first several weeks out there, he don't sugarcoat anything. And I like that.
Yeah.
So if you mess up, he's going to tell you, no, that sucked, do it again. And this is how you need to do it. Mm-hmm. He's not going to sit there and tell you, no, that's wrong, and not correct you.
Yeah, that's good people right there. Because if I do something wrong, I want to know what it is I did wrong.
Exactly. Because how are you going to improve or get better at it?
Yeah, that's a good coach. Mm-hmm. When you're trying to make someone better than you, or if you can coach them to tell them what they're doing wrong. Like sometimes you'll get these people, oh, that sucked, you're doing it wrong. Mm-hmm. They don't know how you're doing it wrong, so they're not able to help you.
Exactly. So, you try not to listen to those people just because typically they don't really know anything.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to be around them long enough to figure out who is and who is and
who
is
yes,
not.
Exactly. And plus, too, like watching people train, you have your guys who think they're a lot better than what they actually are. But that's going to be an
those are the new guys.
Yeah. And, like I said, after that, my first competition, that was no longer me. Like I said, I got humbled extremely quickly.
Yeah.
And I still like to remain very humble.
Yeah.
That's how I am. That's how I like to compete.
Yeah, because I told a kid, you may have heard me tell this already, but this one kid, this is only like a 19-year-old kid here. Mm. He was stronger than this other 19-year-old kid. And I probably jumped into him a little bit harder than I should. And he was making fun of the kid because the kid couldn't lift what he's doing. Mm. I said, let me tell you something. That strength that you've been given, you need to use that as a gift to help someone else. Mm-hmm. You don't take something that you've been given and use it to badmouth or bash someone else.
No.
That's a gift that you've got. You've got mm-hmm. the gift of Strongman, and you've kind of been humbled. And you've even offered to help me and teach me some technique stuff because you want people to know that this is just not a barbaric sport.
Exactly.
There's a lot of stuff that goes mm-hmm. behind it and inner workings of it. Mm-hmm. And I think once you start, you're a strongman, you start teaching others, you're going to know more about yourself than you even realize.
Exactly.
And so I think being humble, and a lot of those guys, like if you meet Brian Schultz, a lot of those guys give you a lot of information. I think a lot of people, they do want to help. Mm. This is not a selfish sport. You do want to win.
Oh yeah, you do, but you also want to see somebody else, do the best that they can.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to walk into a competition saying, man, I hope he gets injured because I really want to win this.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
I've never even thought that thought's not even crossed my, and we go to powerlifting competitions. I never even thought like that. I'm just thinking like, see if he misses that. I need.
Yeah, I was like, I want to see, you know,
I want to see somebody perform at their best, because I don't want to beat someone that was injured or that was not at their top of their line, because then that's just bad on me.
Exactly. You know, especially when somebody's going for a world record attempt, and if you know for a fact that they get that lift, they just beat you.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's by 1 point, 10 points, doesn't matter. If they make that lift, you have just lost.
Yeah.
But for the most part, everybody, even myself, I would go over there and cheer that person on.
Yeah, you're pretty happy for them, because seeing a world record is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Whether it's you or not.
Yeah. And it's very rare. It doesn't happen every competition.
Yeah.
So that's something cool to see somebody able to do. And just to be able to say that you got a world record in any kind of lift is a huge accomplishment. I mean, I had one for a very brief moment.
Yeah.
Then my buddy, Wesley Claiborne, he's actually a professional strongman.
He let you have your fade and came and crushed
Yeah, he let me have it for a couple of minutes. And this was at a competition at North Carolina. It was a keg load.
Yep.
We were using the Bartos kegs, loading them over a yoke bar. I want to say the height, maybe 52 inches.
Did they change the height of that stuff? Or is it pretty much standard?
It just, honestly, it kind of depends on the promoter. If he wanted it at 54 or 56, or maybe even lower, it just depends on what they want to set at. I don't think there's really a standard that it has to be set at. Now, if you're going for a world record attempt, yes, it does have to be the same.
Okay.
But I actually won the event, and I did a 500-pound keg load.
Okay.
So picking it up to your lap, you know, bringing it up to your chest and setting it over a bar.
How high was that bar at 500-pound keg?
I want to say about 52 inches.
52 inches, that's not short.
Oh, no. And it wasn't easy either. But I was competing in the amateur side, and they actually had a professionals over there competing. Like I said, my buddy Wesley was over there competing. Several guys I know, like Robert Oberst. I don't know if you ever heard of him. You know, he's a big name in strongman. He was on World's Strongest Man this year.
Okay.
It made it to the final 10. He was there, and to see only just a couple of these guys able to get 500, it made me feel good.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, all right, well, you know, we're tied with these people. You know, then here comes Wesley. They put 520 in there. He just picks it up, sets it over there. I'm like, you know, great for him. You know, I was literally cheering him on.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you just couldn't let me have it, could you? You know,
yeah, it's always that friendly competition.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, and you know, me and Wesley, that's one of the guys that I train with pretty much on a regular basis every Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, he's a great person to train with because he is such a freak. You know, 24, 25, running there, but he's just so damn strong, and he makes everything he does look effortless.
Yeah.
And that right there actually motivates me. I'm like, if I can get to the point to where, you know, I'm beating him on lifts, I know I'm actually doing something.
So you're not quitting just because someone's better than you?
Oh, no. There are a lot of people better than me, trust me. And to me, that just fuels me.
Yeah, because you know, if they can do it, in my eyes, if I see someone do something, I believe that I can do the same thing. You know, it may take me a little longer, but eventually I'll get there. I'm not going to quit.
Yeah, that's my goal, you know. And one of the things, too, is, because like I said, I get asked a lot. So, I mean, people in the gym will come up to me and say, hey, what do you bench press? And I'll tell them, you know, I said, my last match was 520. And it's on my sheet. I said, well, you know, not really.
Yeah, once you get to 300, you're like, I want 4.
Exactly.
Once you get to 4, you want 5.
You know, you always want more.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's like the shock of my response. I'm like, yeah, it's a good number, but, you know, so-and-so is doing 550.
Yeah, there's always someone better than you somewhere.
Exactly.
You can't be the best in overhead press, and you can't be the best in squat at the same time.
Exactly. You know, everybody has that one thing that they're just very, very good at.
And that's what, and you're chasing that.
Exactly. And my one thing is overhead press.
Yep.
Like I said, I haven't won every overhead press event, but I either do win it or I'm top 5.
Yeah, but that's good that you've not won it, because it still keeps you from getting cocky. It still keeps you on that level playing.
Yeah, and it still keeps me driving for more. Because like I said, right now the world record is Big Z, Adrinas Viscus. Okay. He's got the log.
He was just here in Georgia.
Oh, really? Was? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, at Growler's Gym. That's right. In November.
Yeah.
He went up there to the gym and talked to those guys for a while.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I had to work that weekend, so I wasn't able to go and participate in that. But that was a pretty cool experience, just to have him go to the gym where I train at. And I've actually talked to him before at other competitions.
Yeah.
But I said he has a world record at 500 pounds log press. That is a huge, huge number.
Yeah, that log press is a lot different press than that bar.
It is.
Straight bar and the log is more out in front of you. Your leverage has changed.
It's a world of difference.
Yeah.
And I said, my biggest max is 405. I feel that I could do more, but during training, you can't always try to, max out on every single lift. You just don't get better that way.
Yeah.
So doing the smart training, I feel that eventually one day I can get to that point, if I just specifically train for it, and, it's going to take time, but I can't neglect everything else on that same part.
Like you used to do your legs.
Yes.
Oh, but now you don't. Now you squat more than you bench, right?
Oh yes, tremendous.
Yeah, so he had to work. He had to bring up that weakness. Yeah. So you were next door squatting what, 8 something?
My maximum squat is 820.
Yeah.
And now, like I said, I haven't done it, but I feel that I could do way more. Like I said,
hey, what about those bum knees and that sciatica?
I tell you,
you think lifting helped to get better?
Yes, tremendously. Getting in the gym and strengthening the right muscles has tremendously helped out the patella tendonitis.
Yep.
Because now, like I said, my quads are way stronger than they ever have been, and it just gives the kneecap more support. You know what?
My knees used to kill me all the time in high school. And just like any other high school kid, I'd skip squat and always go to bench. That's what a lot of high school kids do, because at the point in time, you don't understand the importance of squatting. And so my knees used to kill me. I started squatting, they quit hurting. People look at you like you're retarded.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you got a bad back, why are you doing it? Or like I had a girl, she played softball in high school. She came to me because her knees were hurting. We started squatting, her knees got better. That's the total opposite of what people think. A lot of your problems went away.
Oh, yeah.
But, like we was talking one day, we're not doing this for health reasons either. Right?
Oh, no, by no means.
It takes me longer now sometimes to warm up than it does work out. And you gave me some advice. You have the same problems too, don't you? You got to use some horse liniment.
Oh yeah, it's basically icy hot, but for horses.
Yeah, you got to put that on, because we got to get moving. We're just like a decent, if you notice, I'm sitting here more wormy than you are.
Yeah, like I said, the more and more you train, the more and more muscle you put on, just the regular stuff, like regular icy hot, it's just not going to penetrate as deep to get to that joint and get it loosened up as much as you need it to.
Yeah.
That's where I've learned that trick, that icy hot for horses, was from other strongmen.
Yeah.
It
takes us, when you get stronger, it takes a little bit longer to get that joint moving.
Oh, yeah.
That muscle tissue, because we've had a lot more tissue.
Oh, yeah.
So we're just not going to be like that kid that comes to the gym. All right, ready to go. Ready to start the first set.
And
they don't have the years.
And that's one thing, I see it in the gym all the time, and it probably bothers me a lot more than it probably should. But seeing these people come just walking straight off the street, go straight to a machine and start working out.
Yeah.
It's just it's everything in my my body just to keep from going over there and saying, this is you go stretch out for 10 minutes, please.
Yeah, because like the high schools around here, if you come in for a bench, whatever's on your sheet, that's what you lift first. They're kind of almost taught not to warm up.
Exactly.
And so when they come in here, when I squat, what the first thing I do when I squat, I drag a sled backwards.
Right.
I warm my knees up, and then I'll go do some leg curls, and then I may do some reverse hyper. So I done hit my hamstrings, my thighs, and my lower back, trying to pump some. Then I go to the bar. I don't have 135 on it. I start with the bar.
Oh yeah, you start with an empty bar. I do the same thing. Empty bar with everything I do.
Yeah, and so then I'll go up from there, or like if I'm going to come in and bench, I may go do the 25 or 30 pound dumbbells 25 times. I do some lat pull downs, and I do some press downs. I warm up the muscles that I'm about to use.
Exactly.
And so I just don't come in like you'll see some kids throw 135 on, 225 on, and whatever. Sometimes how I do it here is I have like Fuse is going to be here, and I would have your specific sets and reps done. And so you'll have a kid that have 135 on the bar. That's his first set. I said, no. I said, you at least need to go down to 65. They don't, the first thing people want to do is put that 45 on there. And someone thinks they're weak because they have to put a less weight on there. And they'll see me when I warm up with the bar. Like I had this one kid, he's a college kid, but they could start with 135 on squat. I said, take that off. I said, it takes me a little longer.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes they hate training with me because they're wanting to go. Like the other day, I was squatting, and my knee was just on fire for some reason. I said, "What the heck did I do?" I warmed up. I was ready to go. All of a sudden, sitting there, I stood up. My knee goes, boom, felt like a flame. Someone took a blowtorch to my knee. I was like, "Why is my knee burning?" Well, Jared, sometimes that's a sign that you shouldn't squat. No, this is a sign to see if I can get through it.
I tell you, there's a big difference between being in pain and being hurt.
Yeah, that's
being hurt or injured.
You can't do it.
Yes, you have to be smart about it.
Yeah, like this little scar I got on my.
Yeah,
I could not bench when I tore that off. Now that's what's that? That's injured.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do
about
when an injury like that happens.
Yeah.
Now, when you're lifting weights, you're going to experience pain.
Yeah,
that's just a part of it.
So the bar, like when I'm doing, if I come in for front squats, the bar 135 and 185 hurt more than 225.
Oh yeah,
above
because everything's warming up.
Yeah, and so people, they think, well, you should. No, I just got to let me get loosened up so I can roll.
I'm the same way. I'm right there with you. That's why, fortunately, during so far in my career at Strongman, I've actually been able to pick up a sponsor.
Yeah.
It's Unbreakable Gear.
Okay.
A guy named John Marshall and his wife, Tamara Mack.
Where are they based out of?
Arizona.
Okay. Holy cow! How'd you get Unbreakable Gear from Arizona all the way in Georgia? Did you get that when you went to the Arnold, or?
No, believe it or not, it was actually one of those things. John and his wife, like I said, she does a lot of physique competitions. She's in great shape. And she actually wins all these competitions too. John, he's been competing in not strongman, but powerlifting for an extremely long time. Countless national championship, world championships, world records. I mean, he's been in it a long time.
What's Unbreakable Gear for people that don't know?
Unbreakable Gear,
like wrist wraps, knee sleeves.
Yeah, wrist wraps, knee sleeves, knee wraps. I think they also have some of the best knee wraps in the world, as far as I'm concerned. Because they got different options to choose from. But knee sleeves, elbow sleeves, belts, apparel. This is one of their shirts.
Okay.
It's basically everything you need to help protect yourself and give yourself support when you go in there and work out.
Yeah.
And you have some people thinking that if you're wearing knee sleeves or elbow sleeves and all this stuff, it's assisting you with your lift. I'm like, I've never put on a pair of sleeves and got 50, 80 pounds out of it on my max. The sleeves are there to help keep the joints warmed, and with some compression to it, because every joint likes to be warm and there needs to be some compression to them to really be able to function.
You get that bad boy joint warmed up. You don't want it to cool down.
Exactly. And especially for me, between my sets, if I'm going heavy, I'll take 10 minutes between sets sometimes.
I'm glad you said, because look, I spend, when I'm training my bench, one of my benches on top of its game, I was going for top 10 in the world of bench before my tricep blew off. Oh shoot, I just had a brain fart. I lost my thought process. What were we talking about?
About the time set between the
Oh,
lifts?
yeah, okay. See, you see how my brain works? Just shuts off like that. I spend 8 minutes usually between my sets of bench. You know, it's just not. And I'll see some kid come in, do a whole bench workout in 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, well, obviously that kid don't know how to train.
Yeah.
Because it takes once you learn how to output that power, it's just not coming here, bam, bam. You see, I guess if you've been to I've not been to a commercial gym. I've not been to a commercial gym in probably 12, 14 years. I don't know what.
I do go to the One Life Fitness over there in Noonan.
So what's the average people? You'll see them, they'll come bench, squat, deadlift, and all in 15 minutes, and they're out of the gym. They thought they worked out.
For the most part, yes. Like I said, it's, you know, the typical thing. Every Monday is National Chest Day. So Monday, I don't go in there and do anything bench press wise, because I know, unless I just go early, I know I'm not going to be able to get anything.
Yeah.
Because everybody's in there doing upper body. But like you said, just seeing people coming in there, not doing any kind of stretching or anything, they just go straight to a machine or a bench and start doing it. But it's also, you have your ones, like you said, that are either like back to back to back to back with their sets and their reps. And it's just, you know, take some time, you know.
Yeah, those kind of people are in your way because they're not real serious. So you just kind of want, hey, get off this bench, let me take care of my job.
Yeah. Then you got the complete opposite people that will do a set, pull their phone out, and just sit on the bench for 15 or 20 minutes. Then they'll do another set. I'm like, and it's the same weight. I'm like, you know, there's people who come in there who actually to train, to get better. I think others go in there thinking they have the idea of that they're training, but they're really not.
Yeah.
Like I said, because when I go in there, my typical workouts, you know, and my old lady, she gets on to me all the time. So you're always in the gym for, you know, forever.
But there's a difference. There's a difference between training and working out.
Yes, you know, I'm in the gym training 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah, training. You're going for a goal, and you have these numbers in mind.
Yeah, that is a typical time frame for me.
What would be a typical Monday? What would you do?
Well, it's to answer that question.
I want to get into the strongman because a lot of people, they see it an idea. You know, like you ever heard of Tommy Inglesby? He was on the World's Strongest Man years ago. 96 range. He was probably young, wasn't he?
Yeah, if I were to see his face, I'd probably know exactly who you're talking. I'm better with faces than I am names.
I worked out with him when I was in high school.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty badass when I could bench 315. Tommy didn't warm up. Tommy had 315 on the bar. 19, sat on his chest, looked up, 20, racked it. No warm up. And that's the first time, that's my first experience with a real strong man in person.
I say, you know, some people can do that. I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
I highly don't recommend it.
Yeah, if I would put 315 on the bar, although I've done 315 for 20 reps. I still can't go put 315 on the bar, although I can do it 20 times. I can't go in there or something's going to give.
Yes, that's an extremely good way to tear something.
Yeah.
To put that much weight on there, not warmed up.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't like your triceps, if you don't like your pecs,
or your face.
Yeah.
My bar's going to go poof.
Oh, yeah. You know, but like I said, like a typical workout for me, actually nowadays it's, I've actually started to work with a strength coach, Mike Westerling.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard of him or not. He's based out in Arizona too. And I've started to work with him because before that, I was that person that I would go into the gym and train how I felt.
Oh yeah,
you know,
no offense to this, but I hate those people.
And I realized that it had gotten me to a point, but I've no longer been able to get beyond that point.
Okay, let's pray upon that real quick, because I am, and I've talked about on these other podcasts. I hate people and their feelings, because you've experienced it. If you with a strength coach, if you go in, I think that's all, like Tiger Woods even has a coach.
Oh, yeah.
everybody has to have a coach. I wish I had a coach, but I'm coaching others. And I'm just trying to make these kids better than what I am or what I was. But they'll come in, so like, all right, Justin, you come in here. Jared, I don't think I'm just going to do this thing. No, you're going to do this. You're going to have someone tell no. But then if you come in here, you don't want to do it, and you feel like you can't do it, you actually have your best day on it.
Oh, yeah.
You ever experienced that? To where you come in, I don't feel like overhead pressing, then all of a sudden you're told you're going to overhead press whether you feel like it or not, you break a record. You have any of those?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Since I started working with Mike, and I started working with him recently, just after Nationals, so the beginning of November. I'm doing a 12-week program with them, getting ready for my next competition in February. Like I said, he has it's written down, this is what you're doing. These are the sets that I want you to do. These are the reps I want you to do. Now the weights can be changed. Like I said, you just come in some days and you're just not feeling as strong as you were last week. Or maybe your body's just tired and you don't need to go as heavy this day. Well, that's perfectly fine. Changing the weights isn't a big issue, but keeping the sets and reps the same is key. Like I said, so I'll go in there and say like Monday, say it will be an upper body day. So my main lift will be incline bench press. He'll have me go through, 3 sets of 2, increasing weight, and that will be it. To where before in the past, when I would
but
go,
you're not doing 3 sets of 2. You're probably doing about 4 or 5 warm-up sets.
Oh yes, yeah.
Those when people write 3 sets and stuff like that. That's your working set.
That's working set. Not to be confused with the warm-up sets.
Yeah, because like at a high school, some of these people, 3 sets of 2, they just come in, all right, do 2 with the bar, 2 with 135, 2 with 195, I'm out. You got to get these working sets.
Yeah, you're not throwing 400 pounds on an incline and doing that for a set of 2.
Without doing 135. First.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just like I said, I start with the bar.
Yeah, okay.
Because I used to be, with the bar, I wasn't able to touch my chest on an incline. That's how bad my mobility was. So, like I said, with working through all that, doing a bar, I'm able to touch my chest now. I don't even have to warm up now because my mobility's gotten a lot better now.
Yeah.
But like I said, in the past, I would go in there and, that would be my main lift, and I would do way more sets. Probably not as many reps, but it'd be more sets. Well, now he has me doing this. Then I'll go over and do some kind of flat bench dumbbell press. Then I'll go do something else on a cable machine. Then I'll go to the Smith machine and do overhead presses with that. So he has me doing a lot to specifically target a certain area of the body.
Yeah, you're doing incline press. You're not working on your log press all the time.
Yes.
I think people get overwhelmed, or they get this little narrow-minded thing that they think they have to do this, they want to be better at it. But you got to kind of strengthen where you're bad at.
Oh, yes.
So everything kind of plays a role and has its own mechanical advantage. And so, like, if you just go in there overhead press, you're just going to be narrow-minded. You've got to do different types of presses, different types of grips, and different types of angles like an incline. In order to get better at it.
And you have to. It's, from flat bench to incline to the overhead military presses with the Smith machine, which I love those. I highly recommend those to anybody if they're wanting a stronger overhead press. To doing standing overhead presses, strict and push press, to doing dumbbell work. And especially with dumbbell work too, to me, you're working more of those stabilizing muscles because
the bar is all one part, so it's a lot easier to balance. When you put a dumbbell in someone's hand, they're all kind of wobbly and stuff like that.
And you can see people using them.
Yeah, so they just got to build. The dumbbells really help with the muscle coordination.
Yes.
In order to learn how to press a non-stabilized object.
And you also got to think too, not every single implement, they may give you a 250-pound stone, hey, press that overhead for one of your events in your competition.
And I like stone lifting. I made some stones for next door. I didn't realize how hard it was to even pick up a 150-pound stone.
Oh yeah,
it's just not easy as you think.
No, it's
rip your forearms apart.
Mm-hmm. That's why going back to my buddy Wesley. Wesley is one of the best people when it comes to stone loading that I've seen. Mm-hmm. He's a freak of nature when he does it. It's just, once again, he does it and it's effortless.
Yeah.
And I think he still has the Georgia State record for having the fastest 5-stone run. Mm-hmm. And
are they typically the same weight?
For around the most part, yes.
What's the heaviest stone? Usually a 365 stone, or are they?
There have been some at the 5th stone being 365. At these bigger competitions, you're looking anywhere from 400 to 420.
Now sometimes do they just have one solid stone, so you can load a heavier stone on something to where it's not a 5-stone event, or they just got a single stone load?
Yeah, they do. Brian Shaw, he has the world record.
Is that for a single stone?
That's a single stone over a height, and it's not for reps. It's just the weight of the stone.
Yeah. Where the 5-stone run's more of a rep stone type thing, right?
Yeah, it's more of a time event. It's just see who can do it the fastest. Mm-hmm. There are some that are, the fewer stones, but they typically are a little bit heavier. There are, single stones for reps. Last year at Nationals, we had to do the stone of steel that Bartos makes. Yep. I think it was 380 for reps over a height. And, that right there is...
How's the... I know the stones, like from the Slater stones and stone molds and stuff, mm-hmm. How's the Bartos stone as far as tearing your skin? Is that better than the stones itself, or is it pretty much got the same surface?
Well,
do you usually have sleeves?
I have sleeves. Yeah. They're very specific sleeves that are specifically made for the stone of steel. Mm-hmm. Like these wouldn't really work on a regular concrete Atlas stone.
Okay.
Now with an Atlas stone, like Brian Shaw, he has his own sleeve that people that he made, and a lot of people really like. Mm-hmm. There's other companies out there that make some sleeves. I just throw some athletic tape on there. Okay. I do about 3 or 4 layers.
You put some pre-wrap on first, or you just rip out
athletic tape? By that time, ripping out hair, because you're going to be experiencing pain in probably other parts of your body. So ripping out the hair is
it's almost like a pleasure after the pain. Huh?
Yeah, and so about 3 or 4 wraps with that, and throwing some tacky on there is truly what helps you grip the stone a lot easier. Mm-hmm. But it is still a tremendous force.
Because if you don't have all that, you try to pick up that stone's ripping that forearm.
Oh, yeah. Like
it's turning.
These scars right here, I thought I had messed up my tattoos from doing stones, bare forearms. There are some guys out there. Trey Mitchell, he's another one of those freaks when it comes to Atlas stone loading. He will put on chalk, no tacky, chalk, and he has a 440-pound stone that he laps and does extensions with nothing, just chalk.
You gotta have some callous forearms.
Yeah, and that's how he trains.
Yeah,
but that's why he's so good at it too. Plus, their lower backs are just stupid strong. That's one of the things that makes these great stone loaders. They just have ridiculously strong lower backs.
Yeah,
and plus that's how he trains. And yes, I would imagine that this whole area right here is just extremely calloused up on him. Yeah. Because most of everybody else, they're putting on sleeves or tape and some kind of tacky.
Yeah.
But it's still, like I said, it's just a lot of bicep, chest, where you have to squeeze everything so hard. I've seen so many people tear their bicep doing stones.
Yeah.
That
and the tire.
Yeah, doing the tire, axle presses, because whenever you clean the axle, you got to do the over-under grip to get it up.
And so that bicep pulling up on the axle
pops right off. There's a lot of different ways to get injured in this sport.
Why, if you can tear a bicep or you can pull it back, why would you do it?
I tell you, it's almost like a drug.
Yeah.
It's
knowing that you did what you thought you could do and lifted that implement, right?
I'm telling you, it's addicting, because once you start training and once you start competing, I've always been about competing.
Yeah.
I love to compete. whether it's football or, weightlifting competitions back in high school, I love to compete. I truly believe that if you don't compete, you will never be the best that you possibly could be.
Yeah.
You have to have that push, that drive, that, that motivation to be, the number one.
Yeah, but not only are you competing with others, you're also competing with yourself on days you don't feel like doing it.
Exactly. It's so easy to talk yourself out of not doing that lift or not even going to the gym, period.
Yeah, I'll try to get some of these kids to hold me accountable. I squat on these days. Make me do it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I said, I didn't want to do it the other day. And this kid, Ben, he said, Jared, you got to get on it. And he just kind of wrote me until I did it. And I was in here jumping. I jump and do all this kind of crazy stuff with the athletes. I didn't want to do my hurdle jumps. Come on, old man. They're just trying to throw some stones at you and try to get you to get moving. And I jump over that first hurdle. I said, there's no way I can do this today. I just get pissed at myself because I hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It just take a little bit more time, and I got it over it. And by the time it's over with, thanks. Make me do it.
Oh, yeah. Just
because I say I can't or I don't want to, I need to do it.
Oh yeah.
I said you can't let me be lazy.
And
I can push. Hey, I got to help this kid.
Yeah.
I need to do this. I can help that.
Yeah. And I'm sure you're probably to the point, just like I am. If I don't come in here and do something, I actually feel worse.
Yeah, I told my wife the other day. You said that I was supposed to work out today, and sometimes this hour is so packed,
mm-hmm.
and I need people to spot me. I can't do it by myself.
Yeah.
And so I'm so busy that if you get a new person or however roles for that day, I have to work out today. And some days, although I've got a gym, stuff happens as the day goes on, and I'll get to it. So I go home, I feel depressed.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do what I was supposed to do, and so I don't feel good.
And see, and you can break it down to even the science behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in here for me is a huge stress reliever.
Yeah.
Working in the fire department, you're going to see shit that is going to stick with you for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure y'all see a lot of crazy.
And it's not on an everyday basis, but if you put in enough years, you're just going to see stuff that is going to be with you the rest of your life.
Yeah, I was talking to that ranger, and they put them on the receiving end of a machine gun.
I'm telling you, that's going to mess with your mind.
He said that's a totally different feeling knowing that you're not behind that gun. And he said it makes a distinct sound. And he said, you know what's coming at you. Mm-hmm. He said these were not live rounds, but they wanted you to be on the receiving end of that sound so that when you get in these situations, you're kind of already been there and heard that. So when they say get down, you need to get down.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, oh, wait a minute, hey, let me go get my drink over here. You're dead.
Yeah, I tell you. And people like that, the men and women in our services, I applaud them for what they do. Because I don't want to do that. I don't know if I could, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I was scared for him. He's about to go off on a mission.
Mm.
And I said, Joe, man, you nervous? I'm excited.
Mm.
I'm nervous for you, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
if you're not going to be nervous, let me be nervous.
Exactly.
But I think that's why we kind of find our paths.
Mm-hmm.
And it happens for a reason. And he didn't grow up in a military family. He had no care about the military until he went to the Army for football.
Yep.
And he went to football. He went again. Another kid was going to school for football.
Mm-hmm.
Not to go to school. And it led him in the path that he's excited to be on.
Like we were talking about earlier, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, I am a huge believer in that. We may be going. I kind of throw out this thing sometimes. We may be. Maybe you get a machete. We're walking through the woods, and all of a sudden we get across this big river or this tree. We're pissed off at that tree for being there.
Mm-hmm.
But that tree or whatever's in our way changed our direction.
Mm-hmm.
And that tree was placed there for some reason. And we look back at the path that we walked down and we cleared out. It's a beautiful path. But you never know what's in front of you or why you got to change direction. And although if it may frustrate you or whatever, take it for what it is, go that direction. And when you look back, you'll be glad that tree was there.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of...
Like I said, you'll never understand the reason why it was there at that moment.
Yeah.
But like I said, as you progress in life, you'll look back at that very specific situation and be like, okay, I see why that happened.
Yeah.
Because that got me here.
See, all that time that you were frustrated, well, you went to school, you didn't want to play football anymore, went to college, right? Look, that time you spent away led you to that job at the fire department.
Oh, yeah.
Being there, then you all of a sudden was around this area. Then you saw that Strongman event.
Yep.
Now you are competing.
Just one thing after another, and like I said, it's one of the things. Like I said, after finding it, getting involved with it, training, competing, it's just one of the things. Like I said, I absolutely fell in love with it.
Yeah.
I wish I would have found this sport way back in the day, but like you said, it just went part of the path then.
Yeah.
But to have that knowledge, and that's why like doing this podcast, talking to you, to get that information out there, to let the younger generation know this is available.
Yeah. Okay. How would you tell? How would you tell young Justin that was in high school, beat up in football, and what would you tell young Justin or the young Justins out there in the world? How would you go find Strongman?
I say, at that time, I'm sure you could probably still get on the computer and, look up, certain events, competitions and wise, but, just going to different gyms and talking to people, because like I said, this is one of those things to where, talking to people in the gym, just getting more information about it. It's like walking up to this big guy in the gym and say, hey, what do you do?
Yeah.
I did that, as a kid growing up. It's like, how did you become this? Like, how did you get good at squatting, benching, and all that? And now I have become that big guy in the gym. So when people come up to me and ask me certain questions, I will take the time to talk to them.
Yeah. Because you wouldn't be where you are if it weren't for them.
Exactly. I will never. Now, don't be that guy that comes up to me right when I'm about to squat 700 pounds.
Oh, yeah. Like, because I said, look, these kids in here mess with me. I said, look, don't mess with me when I bench. Mm-hmm. You can do anything you want to. Look, let me get out of my face when I squat. Mm-hmm. This is what I got to do right now. Let me do me. Mm. Then I'll pay attention to you.
Yeah, there's gym etiquette here, pay attention, if you see him about to, he's getting his gear on. And,
if you see something about they're about
leave him alone. But once he's over there after the lift, taking the stuff off, he's going to sit there for 10 minutes or so, then go over there and ask him a question.
Yeah.
And like I said, there have been times that, hey, just give me about 30 minutes. Let me go ahead and knock out these last couple of sets. I'll make sure I'll find you before I leave. You can ask me anything you want to.
Yeah.
Whether, it's how I train, what I train, how often, even the sport that I'm in Strongman, I'll tell you what competitions are coming up. I'll advise you on what you can do in this gym locally to help you get better that will help carry over. I like to take the time, and I'm one of those people, I tell myself, look, I don't know everything about anything. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you what I do know.
Yeah, and if I don't know, I'll find it out for you.
Exactly.
Or find someone who knows something for you. Mm. It's kind of, I don't know everything either.
We're always learning. I mean,
but the more you learn, the more you realize you didn't know in the first place.
Exactly.
The more I learn, I'm like, man, I don't really know anything.
Mm-hmm. And I tell them too, I say, you got to take the time and to doing the research, because with the advances like with technology and everything, you can get on there, YouTube, Google, whatever, and truly learn a lot on technique, form, just general information about any kind of lifts there is.
What if a kid don't get to see a big guy like you in the gym? What would website or anything or apps that you would recommend to go see?
On Facebook, it's Starting Strongman.
Okay.
It's I'm pretty sure I'm saying his name right. Kealhofer.
Okay.
He's in charge of this Facebook page. That Facebook page is there to help people. Mm-hmm. He does a lot of videos, like instructional videos of how to do this lift, whether it's log, axle clean, deadlift, or yoke, whatever. Mm-hmm. He even offers training. Mm-hmm. But that would probably be the best, and that's the number one that I recommend the younger people to go to.
Starting Strongman on Facebook.
Yes, and because it's not just him. It's one of those that's open to the public.
So it's got a forum. Some people like you can comment and give advice, or like, okay, well, this helped me and stuff like that.
And like you can go on there, post a question, and you're going to get 100 responses from people all over the world. And like I said, you'll even get a response from Kel Beck. You know, he's been in the sport and been around the sport a long time. Very knowledgeable about it. Like I said, that's the number one Facebook page I'll tell anybody to go to. And there's several of them out there. You know, it's just each gym that like starts their own strongman competition. That, you know, they'll have their own Facebook page and everything, and they'll have people who train and compete in strongman, and you can go there and ask them a question. There's going to be somebody that's going to answer you and try to help you out, because I haven't seen it, but this is a sport that everybody's trying to help everybody.
Yeah, that's the thing I noticed. I'm not involved in strongman myself, but when we go to powerlifting competitions, people like Steve Goggins they'll help you. Hey, I see this wrong. Hey, try this. Or like when I had a 17-year-old squat 661 in an IPF competition.
Wow.
And one of the guys saw that we had his belt a little low. They said, well, jack his belt up a little bit high, because when you're a big dude, the higher the belt is on them, the more it's going to help them. So that way, when they get down, it's not going to dump them over. So they raised the belt up on them and helped them out on it. And I didn't know that. So I didn't get pissed because someone told my athlete what to do. I went, thank the guy, thanks, because I don't know. The older, I guess, it's just a mature thing. Once we get older, it's okay to say I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Because when you're in school saying you don't know, you just feel like a little dumb kid sitting in a chair.
Yeah, and everybody's gonna make a point and laugh at you. And,
and just let these kids realize it's okay not to know. You know, if you don't know, there's a book. Ask somebody. You know, I've learned. I was talking to this guy named Jance. He's in North Georgia.
Yeah.
You know him?
Yeah.
5 Rings Barbell.
Yep.
Dude's very smart. And I said, he brought Shrek over here from Russia to meet Louis Simmons. I said, how'd you do that? Just ask somebody. and I said, do what? He said, just ask. And so I'm going to do a podcast with Jance.
That would be a very...
Dude's real smart.
I mean, I'm telling you, he just went over to Japan, I think, to train with the Olympic training facility over there.
He's going to China. He's going to Russia to train with Kealhofer.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
He's the one that brought Big Z to the U.S.
Yes. Yeah.
That's kind of like, he said, just ask. I said, well, how do you get and everybody's always looking for some secret pill or some secret advice. It's really right there in front of our face, and we've already done it our entire life. All you do is just open your mouth.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to learn by keeping to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I was always that kid that if I saw this big dude in the gym, I'm going to go ask him. You know, now of course you're going to run into the people that won't give you the time of day.
Yeah.
That's how it is. There's people out there like that. But for the majority of them, in my experience,
most of them out there willing to help.
Yeah, they're willing to help because
don't let that one or two bad people.
Exactly.
Kind of like you got those idiots that blew up the World Trade Centers. Now we all have to suffer with this massive security system we have to go through the airport.
Yes.
Don't let those one or two people be the people that hold you back from doing something.
Oh yeah. You know, and I agree. And even with the strongman, you'll go to a competition, see these guys, and you may not see them again until that next competition next year. But once you do, it's like you know, you never left off. You know, you're picking right back up where you're at. You know,
yeah, they're always happy to see
hours. I mean,
they're always happy to see.
Yeah, like I said, and they're the people that are always just so open to help you. Like, you know, I'm trying to think of his name right off the top of my head. Buddy of mine lives out in Florida, Andrew Clayton. I'll send him messages on Facebook, you know, say, hey, you know, how are you so damn good at this lift? You know, he has one of the top axle clean and presses in the world. And it's because he has such a great powerlifting and Olympic lifting background. You know, he's doing a 450-pound axle clean and press. That is ridiculously heavy.
Yeah.
And he's doing it at 280, 290, you know, but his form is it's phenomenal. You know, I can't do his form just because, you know, he does the split jerk. I'm not coordinated enough to do a split jerk. So I'll do the push press, but I probably will never be able to do as much as he can just because of his ability to do that form.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, it's sending out messages. You know, I get messages all the time on Facebook from people I've never even met asking me questions, and, you know, I'll respond to them. You know, I'll take the time whenever I have the time available.
Yeah.
I'll respond to them the best as I can.
Yeah. Because, you know, like when you get a question, if you're like me, like, why are they asking me a question?
Yeah, I'm like, you know, have I done something? I mean, you know, I think that goes back to being a very humble person.
Yeah.
I think it truly does. I never walk into the gym just shoulders back, chest out, thinking I'm the best guy in here. I'm top of everybody. I don't do that.
Yeah, I don't either.
You know, you got some people who do that, but I think being humble makes you more approachable.
Yeah.
And I think that's how you get more information out there.
Yeah.
Because like I said, this sport is on the path of just growing and growing.
That's why I want to do this podcast, to try to get some information to people that may not know. You know, I don't know everything, and I want to help. And so this is just another form of me trying to help somebody.
Oh yeah, you know, and like for the sport of strongman, they just showed the Arnold on ESPN and CBS, and they always show the World's Strongest Man on CBS. But to my knowledge, and I could be wrong, I've never seen the Arnold televised.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Especially ESPN.
Yeah, well, I was a kid that grew up with no cable TV.
Yeah,
I had to go to Florida vacation to watch the strongman stuff.
You know, so you know that right there, like I said, it's becoming more of a step in the right way to get this sport out there, because it's still a huge entertaining sport. I mean, it really is. I mean, to see these massive monsters come out there like Brian Shaw and Thor.
Yeah, those guys are what, 6'6", 400?
Thor, like I said, he just competed in a powerlifting meet, and he weighed in at 430 at 6'8". And I'm telling you, he's all muscle.
Yeah.
You know, he's hard to damn rock, because we actually got to meet him at the Arnold, and me and my old lady got to get a picture with him. You know, now she's, you know, I tell her she's just a couple of inches away from getting a check from the government because she's so short. And she's probably going to whoop me for saying that. But, you know, it's funny to see her, then you got me, then you got him.
Yeah.
Just like, dang, you know, there's not too many people I have to look up to.
Yeah. Because you're a big dude too. Yeah.
And I'm like, it's just, you know, and you know, putting your arm around him or shaking his hand, I'm like, good Lord. But, you know, then, you know, how the sport evolves, you actually have these, you know, I'm not going to say smaller guys, but they're 320, 330, young.
Yeah, they do even have some strongman for people that's 200 or less, don't they?
Oh, yes, yeah. They got categories, you know.
And
like
strongman just don't have to be for the big dogs.
Oh, no. The strongman is literally a sport for, like I said, everybody.
Yeah.
Men and women. I don't care what you weigh. If you weigh 130 pounds soaking wet, there's a spot for you.
Yeah.
You know, and you have your novice to your open. So, you know.
Just don't jump into the open right away.
Yeah. You'll get humbled very quickly. But, like I said, there's a spot for everybody. You know, there truly is. If you go into a competition and you can't do the weight, like I couldn't that one competition, don't let that discourage you.
Yeah.
Just let that motivate you.
Go back to the drawing board.
Exactly. You know, talk to the people that are there, that have been doing this.
Someone's better than you.
Exactly.
You know,
that's how you're going to learn.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, with the sport, it's just constantly evolving, because look back from when it started, you know, in the 70s, and look at the weights that they were using. People were in awe that they're pressing a 220-pound beer keg over their head. Well, you know, now we do that for reps, even at the amateur level. You know, they're squatting 600-700 pounds. Went back then when they first started, or carrying a refrigerator on their back. You know, but now it's, you know, they're squatting, you know, up to 800 pounds, 750 for reps, which I've seen, like I said, Big Z, Martine Fleecies, they were doing that for 15 reps. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, unreal.
And, you know, like I said, with overhead press.
You're over there checking the weight to make sure the weight's real.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, it's like, you see these guys train, because, you know, a lot of these guys, they post their training videos and all that, because they're real big on social media. Plus, they want people to learn from them as well. You know, they're at the, you know, the top 10 in the world. These are the strongest guys in the world. You know, Big Z, considered the strongest man in the history of man. You know, which you make a pretty good argument that he is. You know, and he still is too. I mean, he's one of those guys that he's been in the sport for so long that, you know, his trophies could fill up this entire room. You know,
but he was not born that way.
No, he had to work.
Yeah.
You know, and
just because you're not good at something, don't mean you can't be better at it. So,
exactly.
So don't get discouraged if you're starting out like you started out. You got humbled real quick. You didn't get discouraged. You just kept on.
Exactly. And
even when you think things are not working, just keep going.
And it takes time.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, this does not happen overnight. I promise you. This is years of work to get to that level.
You mean it's not a day or two?
Oh, I wish. It'd make it so much easier. And like I said, there ain't no special pill out there that you can take. There ain't nothing out there that you can take to make this happen overnight.
You know what the fun part is? Is the journey.
Yes. You know, to see where you started, to see where you are now.
Yeah, because you're better than yourself as a human.
Exactly.
You know?
You know, there's just a lot that you can learn just by coming in here and just lifting some weights.
Yeah, we just talked about that. It's amazing what a stupid barbell that has no brain in it can teach you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a weight that has not a living cell can teach you a whole lot about life and a whole lot about yourself.
Oh, yeah. Some of the best therapy in the world, too, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You can come in here pissed off at the world because something happened. You go in there and you train hard, you're going to leave. Probably not even think twice about it.
No, you'll be by high on top of the world then.
Exactly. So
you may want to be rolled off in a ditch somewhere. You come in here and move that bar around, it can change your life.
That's what I said. Like I said, you know, nothing will ever keep me from going to the gym.
Yeah.
I have to have it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I said, it's a stress reliever. You know, if I don't go to work out, I feel like crap. And it's always calling me. You know, you go to the gym, do what you need to do, get better, and then go to a competition and show what you can do.
Yeah.
You know,
because it's you versus that bar.
Exactly.
Ultimately.
You know, and there are some days that bar may win.
Yep.
But
I'll be back next
time. Yeah, exactly. I'll get your ass next time.
Well, that's awesome. Justin, where can people find you?
I got a couple of social media. I'm on Facebook. You know,
Kealhofer. How do you spell Kealhofer?
It's Kealhofer.
Okay.
Yeah.
JustinKealhofer.com yet?
No, not yet. It's just Facebook and Instagram.
What's your Instagram name?
Instagram, same thing. Last name Kealhofer. Kealhofer.
Kealhofer. So I've been saying Kealhofer the whole time.
I tell you, I promise you, I never correct anybody when they say Kealhofer.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it, that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah. Kealhofer.
But I've been told as a child it's Kealhofer. I tell people all the time, for all I know, we're the ones saying it wrong. You know, it's just one of those weird German names. But yeah, like I said, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Yeah, I guess if it was also a German person here too, and see what they say.
Oh yeah, they'll probably recognize it immediately. And you know, but like I said, I'm always posting videos on there. You know,
it took us 2 hours to get to Kealhofer.
Hey, I tell you, you know, I'll pump that Adderall. I can sit here and talk to you for hours.
Man.
You know, like I'm always posting videos. You know, showing people, yes, if you train hard, you will get better. You know, plus I do it for myself too, to critique my own.
You don't realize what you're doing until you look at yourself.
Oh no, I tell people, just because you set up a camera doesn't make you that, you know, that douchebag in the gym, because you'll never know if your form is getting better unless you see yourself squat.
Yeah, well, you can go there and squat, and you think the weight's killing you, but you go back and look at the video and like, I actually move that pretty
good.
That
mover. I do that all the time. I feel so slow in my lifts, but then I go back and look. I say, well, okay.
Yeah, that's
why pretty good about that.
That's why I said earlier, I hate people thinking how they feel.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at the video, or you go to the gym, you feel bad. I don't feel like doing this today, and you're crushing it.
Oh yeah, having a really good day, and it just, like I say, your feelings doesn't coincide with actually what you're doing with that weight and how you're moving it.
Yeah, that's why I said just leave your brain at the door.
Yes.
Give me your body, and we'll get to work.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%.
What about Unbreakable Gear? Where can people find Unbreakable Gear at?
Unbreakable Gear, I said, that's your website. That's unbreakablegear.com. I highly recommend. It's not just because I'm sponsored by them. I truly highly recommend it to everybody. Their knee sleeves, elbow sleeves. They came out with a new design and like new fabric with it and all. Still approved with the powerlifting.
Oh, it's IPF approved.
Yes. The wraps are, the wrist wraps are.
That's big. People need to know if it's IPF.
Oh yeah.
USAPL,
their belts, their singlets, everything. I highly recommend them. It's just, it's great quality gear, but you're not spending, $100 just on a set of knee sleeves like you would with these other, companies. You can't beat it. You can't beat the price. The quality's great.
You can't beat the people. I don't never.
And the people are great too. Like John. I don't think I ever actually got into the whole discussion about how I got on sponsored with him.
You go ahead and knock it out.
I was actually sitting at the fire department, just scrolling through Facebook. It's like 11:30 at night, and a buddy of mine sends me a link. He saw it on Facebook that this company is opening up a sponsorship to Strongman because they have so many people in bodybuilding and powerlifting. They want to expand their business.
And Strongman's growing.
And Strongman is growing too. It's getting more and more popular. So they're taking in request applications, I guess. Explain why it would benefit us to sponsor you in this sport. I'm like, all right, let's do that. So, by this time, it's midnight. I'm on the computer. I'm typing out this whole thing, sending it to them. Get a response the next day. Asked me a couple more questions, and basically, in a nutshell, my answer was, my biggest role to get anything out of this is just to be able to give back.
Yeah.
Whether it's just as simple as information. And they must have really liked my answer because ever since then I've been able being sponsored by them. Like I said, signed contract. They're able to pay for some of my competition entry fees because these bigger competitions, it's $150 just to get in these things.
Yeah, that's killer. I mean, it was $150 just to get to Arnold Classic, and you got to get it within an hour. Once that window opens, you better sign up like that.
Exactly.
You your spot.
So, like I said, I am truly blessed that it's what that they were able to get put into my life, and and to be able to supply me with this gear, just because first off, it's a huge financial. It's a really financial burden, not having to pay for my own gear, because like I said, it's just so expensive.
Yeah, that stuff is not playing around.
Exactly. And plus too, they're just great people. They truly are. There's a few other people too that they sponsor in the Strongman, men and women. And just to be around them, their energy about everything is contagious. They do so much for their athletes. Yeah. And it's not just say, hey, here's some gear, go out and wear it, put some videos up. No, they want you to get better. They stay in contact with you, always talking to you. It's like a little family almost. It's one of the things, if something happens to somebody, the whole group will help chip in and help them out as whatever they can do for them. So, like I said, it's just one of the things I'm truly blessed to have them come into my life and being able to sponsor me. So that's another motivation right there. I feel like I got to sit here and do everything I can to help.
You don't want to let them down.
Yeah, I don't want to let them down. Plus, I want to let everybody know about their product because they're still, an up and coming business. Yeah. So I want to get the word out to everybody. You don't have to spend $100, $150, $200 to get all this stuff. Yeah. When you can spend half that and still get great quality gear.
If it's approved by the IPF,
Yeah, I mean,
they know strict requirements.
Yeah, well, because like I said, he was all about powerlifting basically. So all the gear that they were making had to be approved for all of his powerlifters to use. So now, that's the great thing about Strongman. It doesn't really have to be approved. They came out like with figure 8 deadlift straps. You can't use that in powerlifting, but Strongman, I use those things all day long. Because I promise you, I ain't going to miss a deadlift because of my grip.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's a great company to check out. Like I said, it's unbreakablegear.com. Highly recommend everybody go check it out.
That's awesome. Well, if you have any questions, you can email Justin. You got an email address?
Yeah, email is bigk791987@yahoo.com.
Yep, you can email me at info@explosivemechanics or follow me on Instagram @explosivemechanics, Twitter @explosivemec. Hey, thank y'all for listening. Hey, thank you, Justin, for coming on.
I appreciate you having me. I really enjoyed that.
And so thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good day.
Hey, that was awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
It's a lot better than you think.